it's Xarin. Welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I'm gonna be making this dress from scratch. So this is a tight dress with a stand collar and it's a Chinese style dress for my casual Beidou costume. So, and it also features this keyhole cutout in front, which is uso ngayon. I've actually made so many variations of this costume. I actually joke with myself that this is the only costume I know how to do. You can see the samples here and here. So I'm gonna be showing you how I made this costume. If you're interested, please keep watching.
So here's a little overview of what our finished project is going to look like. It's a short, tight dress with a keyhole cut up at the front. This is like a diamond shape cutout sa top, and then we have a stand collar for the collar. I already made a stand collar video in one of my previous videos na ililink ko sa top right corner there ng screen. So the bottom part ng cutout is more of a sweetheart cutout, plunges in the middle, and then we have some decorative buttons here. So with that, let's start sewing. So we're gonna start off by bringing out my pattern pieces. This is a pattern that I've been using for a long time kasi I've made this dress like a couple times, more than a handful of times. So it's a tight dress that I modified and I cut up and separated the front pieces. I separated into two, my top part and then my bottom part right there. So this is the top part. And then this one is the back pattern piece. So you cut two of this and cut two of that one and cut two of that. So here I'm tracing it onto my fabric using a tailor's chalk or a dermatography pen and my pattern weights. Actually, mas maganda if gawin nyo to sa lapag, but I'm using my table here. Kahit limited space, just kasi ito na nakaset up yung camera. But ordinarily, I would just do this on the floor or kung saan mas maluwag sa inyo. This fabric that I'm also using is scrap fabric. Tira-tira ko lang from a previous project. So, hindi na buo yung yardage. That's why pinagkakasya ko lang yung pattern pieces here kung saan magkasya and how to make the best use of it. And of course, yung coffee mug ko is the most effective pattern weight. Once I traced all those pattern pieces out, I'm gonna cut them out with my cutting shears, tailor shears, and then I'm going to be serging the ends of all of them. Now this is optional. I don't always do it, but I like to do it sometimes kasi it prevents yung fabric from fraying or from yung matas-tas yung gilid niya habang ginagamit ko siya. So yun, I like to serge all pattern pieces, all fabric pieces of my project before assembling them together. Now, if you're curious about my sergers and overlockers and what models I use, I actually made a video about it before. It will be on the top right corner of the screen there. You can click on that link if you'd like to watch that video. Now, here's all the pattern pieces for our tight dress with the front keyhole minus the collar pieces. So, this one is for the back. It's two pieces of back that are joined by a seam in the center. I also already basted the darts because I like to hand baste them before sewing them. And then these are the ones that go in the front. So there's two top front pieces connected at the center and two bottom front pieces also connected at the center. I like to have a center seam, especially for keyhole design like this, para sharp yung triangle points niya. And now I'll be sewing in the darts of the costume. Now this is the bottom part of the front top piece. And I just folded it in. Ito yung the one that goes towards the cleavage. I folded it in and now we're gonna stitch it into place. So, pag nananahi ako, I usually stitch first in order of minor details that need to be done before assembly, which means lahat ng bias tape, mga things that need to be folded over before they're put together. I usually sew those first. So, some people get right into assembly agad, but me, I like to do the small things first. Para pag binuo ko sila, ayos na sila. Now we're moving on to the collar. As you can see here, it's also a minor part ng costume, but we're getting it out of the way right now. So it's the front and back collar pieces together that I'm just stitching together, tas we're gonna fold them over later. So like I said before, may video na ako of how to draft a collar in my YouTube. You can just check that out to see how I made the stand collar. We fold them over. You see I already sewn in the details with the bias tape. And now here's another minor detail. I'm gonna put in a black bias tape detail to the front sweetheart cut nung front dress. And I'm just stitching that in right now. I'm going to be using this costume for Beidou from Genshin Impact. And yung costume niya has like this black, white, and gold bias tape details. So I'm trying to copy that. That's why I'm putting the black bias tape on. I was gonna add white then kaso I ran out of white bias tape. So we're gonna stick to black and gold na lang. After I finish sewing in the details for the dress, I can finally start assembly, and assembly sa dresses or blouses usually start with connecting the shoulder pieces together. So over here, I already connected the front and back shoulder. So since I'm not going to be attaching a sleeve since it's a sleeveless dress, ginagawa ko now is I'm just folding over the edge nung sleeve so that the raw edge is encased within the folds. Now I'm going to be connecting yung collar to the neckline nung dress natin so far. It would help if you used pasting stitches instead of sewing it directly like I do. That's why it's taking me slowly and nakikita nyo madaming pin na nakalagay. So yun, that's a pro tip. Pasting everything always helps makes things go neater and faster. Ayan, wag nyo ko tularan. And finally, here's the collar attached to the neckline. Now I just have to do it sa other part and then the collar is basically done. It's attached. And now this part of the project was not foreseen. So it was unforeseen. I did not plan to do this, but we're gonna have to do this because originally yung plan ko is to just make a one big long zipper at the back because I thought yung zipper that I had at stock was long enough. But it turned out that it was not long enough, so we're gonna have to cut a teardrop hole sa back nung dress. So at the center front, we're cutting a teardrop hole just to give more allowance para mapasok yung ulo dyan when we're wearing the dress. I'll show you what I'm talking about sa picture here at the side. So we're gonna have to cut that out for more head allowance. And now we are just finally connecting the center back nung dress. I think I already previously connected the center front then. So here it is. So yeah, if you remember the keyhole we cut at the back for the head allowance, I'm now gonna seal yung raw edge nun with bias tape just so it doesn't fray. And this is what that back is gonna look like after I'm done with the bias tape. And we're gonna put a closure at the top of it so that it closes later. When the front and back is assembled, we can finally connect the front and back at the side seams. This is usually one of the last steps in sewing, right next to sewing the hemline. So ayun, if you remember, my earlier plan was to put a zipper sa center back, but that did not happen. So now we're gonna have to put the zipper sa isang side ng dress. So I'm attaching the zipper here to the right side panel ng dress. So this fabric is not a knit fabric, it doesn't stretch, and yung bubog niya is hapit sa body. So you really need a zipper so you're able to get in and out of it. I'm not really gonna teach you how to sew a concealed zip. Honestly, it's mahirap siya ipaliwanag. It's something you're better off learning hands-on. And here it is, finally. The concealed zipper is installed. It's gonna look better once you iron it. But yeah, I'm just gonna show its function, how it looks like there. So after this, ang gagawin na lang natin is to sew in the hem and we're done. Now, here's the finished dress laying flat on my bed sheet. What we did for the final step is tahiin tong laylayan here. I just folded it over and did a straight stitch. And then here, I did some zigzag stitches to attach the top part of the cutout to the bottom part para hindi siya gumagalaw. And then, I glued on some frog clasps. You know, I'm not a fan of gluing on items, but since this is a costume that I only plan to use like once or twice. So yeah, glued on. Here's the collar, and then here's the armhole. I showed you that I was sewing that earlier. And ito yung back. As I said earlier, I attached some frog clasps at the back. So this one is sewn on, not glued on, kasi it functions. You open and close it. So if it's something that's gonna function, I prefer sewing it on. Yung sa harap is decorative lang, so okay, just glue it on. And now here she is on the dress form. Papakita ko rin sa inyo, this is the side zip. So I have to show that it functions smoothly. You have to open this so you get in and out of it. And here's our back. It's just plain except for the keyhole that we cut up here and top. And this is it when worn. It looks much different on me kasi sa dress form kasi it's sakto sa measurements ko. So this part, there's a gap there, so I'm thinking of bringing it down by a centimeter para lapat talaga siya on the chest area. And the other part, yeah, I'm gonna bring that down a little later. So ayun, I really like how it looks. One of the best things for me about sewing something yourself is yung kuha mo talaga yung measurements of your body, so it's a perfect fit to you. And here is a view of the costume when worn. You can see the close-up views and the top to bottom view here. So I hope this video helped you guys. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section down below. I hope it encouraged you to sew and make your own costumes. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to see more cosplay and sewing content from me. Thank you guys so much and happy crafting.
So, yes, curious. What's your problem? We're recording! Kiryu, you wanna say hi, Kiryu? Say hi. He's so dirty.